Hi everyone, so I've had a lot of requests to go into more detail on why it is I'm doing the things that I'm doing during my tutorials. To be honest with you, the first time I didn't do any of that because I just felt the video would go for like an hour and a half if I explained every little detail, but then I thought, why don't I do it as a bit of a series? So today I'm going to start off with coverage and foundation and basically just what I put on my face to cover any imperfections. And let's begin.
So firstly, I'm just taking my BB cream by Rimmel and popping it on the back of my hand, and I'm just going to rub it in with my fingers. I feel that a BB cream or a primer should be used with fingers as opposed to a brush, just because I think it goes better on the skin when it's a bit more warmed up. Okay, so again, I'm just rubbing that in with my fingers just so it goes better on my skin. It just goes on a lot smoother. Now I'm just going to take my foundation, so I use the Revlon Age Defying in the colour Bare Buff. Again, I just pour a little bit of that on the back of my hand, and then I take my Duo Fiber Stippling Brush. This one's by Models Prefer, it's kind of crap, don't buy it. And then I just stipple that onto my skin like so. Now I'm still using that same brush, and I'm just going to really buff that into my skin, just to give a really nice flawless look. I do buff that right up into my ears. I do it with both ears, as well as buffing it down my neck, which you probably won't see because I tend to cut half my face out a lot of the time. I'm still new at this, guys. So I just continue to buff until I feel that I have a flawless look and that my skin has no imperfections. At least as minimal as possible. So now I'm just going to conceal, so I'm using the Revlon Colour Stay Blemish Corrector, and I'm just going to pop that under my eyes, like so, and then I'm also going to bring it down my face into a bit of a triangle, just down by the side of my nose. The reason you do this is because concealer should help brighten underneath your eyes, and so we want to make under our eyes look as bright as possible. We do not want any bags, so this is purely just for making us look awake, and then we'll do our blemishes at a later stage with a different kind of concealer. Again, I'm using my fingers as I just think this blends a lot better than without. So now I'm taking my Nadeo Dark Circle Corrector, which is another concealer, and please excuse the bottle, it is absolutely disgusting and I need to get a new one. So again, we're putting it on the back of our hand, and again we're using our fingers. So I'm just going to pat that on to a couple of spots that I have on my chin, as well as either side of my nose, just because I can get very dry and red in that area. So after I have a little bit of a pat, I'm going back in with my foundation brush just to blend it in proper and give it better coverage. So this is when you're going to want to set your foundation. So I'm just using this powder in the shade Light, and it's by Maybelline. I can't remember the exact name of the type of foundation that it is, but I just pat a little bit into the lid, and then I would usually take a kabuki brush, but I could not find my kabuki brush in the middle of filming, so I just took this brush. I got no idea where it came from, no idea what it's called. Stick with your kabuki brush. So once we're done brushing that all over our face, we're going to take a bronzer. This one's only very light. It's Sun Club by Essence. You can pick this up from Target for about $3. And I'm going to take an angled blush brush. This one's by Models Prefer. And I'm just going to put it in the places where the sun naturally hits. So that's just along my cheekbones and on my temples. By no means would I replace contouring or blush with this. I just will use it to make my face warm up a little bit. A trick of the trade also, if you put it just on your jawline, it's supposed to make your face look a little bit skinnier. I wouldn't do this again with an intense bronzer because you may just look a little bit crazy. And that's the end of part 1 of this tutorial.